What's good, YouTube? Welcome back. I'm your host, Remnant Prince. So in this episode, I'm going to be covering a former Miss USA model by the name of Cheslie Kryst who commits suicide. Please drop me a like, a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Right, let's get into it.
I remember there was a beauty queen in America this year. I think she was Miss America or something like that. She, very beautiful, went to the highest accolade of a law profession in America can give. I think she got to 30, was single, and she all of a sudden quit a law degree. But the reason why she stood out is because she ended up committing suicide.
We want to turn now to our GMA cover story. A lot of you maybe saw this shocking news last night or woke up to it this morning, the tragic death of former Miss USA and Extra correspondent Cheslie Kryst, who died by apparent suicide Sunday morning. We're going to check in with our Dr. Ashton in just a moment to tell you about warning signs and also help for family members who may have lost someone to suicide. But right now, let's check in with ABC News Live anchor Lindsay Davis with the story. Lindsay, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. This is a tough one, TJ. This is a young woman who showed so much promise, multiple degrees, a beauty pageant winner from a big family in North Carolina, who not only worked on Extra TV, but also worked at a law firm on behalf of prisoners to get them reduced punishments, and she did that for free. But often we just don't know what people are dealing with personally, and yesterday morning she reportedly got up and decided to end it all, jumping to her death from a Manhattan apartment building.
North Carolina. This morning, immense shock and sorrow after the death of former Miss USA Cheslie Kryst, the 30-year-old apparently dying by suicide. Her devastated family writing in a statement, her great light was one that inspired others around the world with her beauty and strength. She cared, she loved, she laughed, and she shined. Just hours before her death, this photo was posted to Kryst's Instagram with the caption, "May this day bring you rest and peace." Kryst, a highly accomplished attorney with a master's in business from Wake Forest University, represented North Carolina in the Miss USA pageant, crowned the top title in 2019.
Mine is the first generation to have that forward-looking mindset that has inclusivity, diversity, and strength and empowered women.
She appeared on GMA to celebrate a historic win for Black women in the top 4 pageants that year.
I think there are times where I am disappointed because people will sometimes comment on our social media and they'll say, why are we talking about your race? Like, you guys are just 4 amazing women. I'm like, but there was a time when we literally could not win.
She then competed in the Miss Universe competition, placing in the top 10, and went on to be a correspondent on Extra, the entertainment show, issuing a statement saying, "Our hearts are broken. Cheslie was not just a vital part of our show, she was a beloved part of our Extra family and touched the entire staff. Our deepest condolences to all of her family and friends." Cheslie Kryst was 30 years old.
Back in 2019, she posted about mental health on the Miss USA Facebook page, where she wrote that she did a lot to maintain her own mental health, including talking to a counselor. I talked with a good friend of hers last night, and I asked, how would you describe her to people who never had the chance to meet her? And he said, just such a light, genuine, down-to-earth, full of life. TJ.
All right, Lindsay, and I'll pick up on that point there, Dr. Ashton, that we have mutual friends. And yes, I found out from a friend, a colleague of hers, this is what she said about her. She was the person who never had a bad day.
Yeah.
So what warning signs are we supposed to be?
Well, I think the first most important thing is if you've lost someone to suicide, this is not your fault. It can be difficult to pick up on these because, again, what's on the surface obviously may not reflect what someone's going through inside. But again, if you can break it down to things they say, ways they behave, and moods that they express. So examples would be, people giving away their possessions and their pets even, stating that they feel that they're a burden or that they're trapped, acting withdrawn, a change in their behavior at work or in a social setting, and then expressing, feelings that they've lost hope and that they're helpless. Those can be some of the warning signs.
What do you do to go about, if you're worried about somebody, what is that first step to help?
The first and most important thing, TJ, is you have to actually ask them, are you having thoughts of suicide or self-harm? This will not put an idea in their head. And if they answer yes, take that seriously. Do not leave them alone. Assure them there's always hope and help. Acknowledge that you can see they're in pain, and if necessary, bring them to an emergency room and get professional help. That is so important. It is scary when someone tells you that they're having these thoughts, but there are professionals that can help you help them.
All right, Dr. Ashton, thank you. This is something you continue to talk about. We'll talk to you more in just a little bit throughout the day here on ABC about it. And folks, we want to know if you are struggling with thoughts of suicide or worried about a friend or loved one, this is where you can get help. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255 or text TALK to 741-741. You can visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. This is free, confidential, emotional support 24 hours a day.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.
So there you go, fam. That's the clip. You know, I just want to say rest in peace, to Cheslie Kryst. And it's sad to see a young woman commit suicide, right? Death is never a pleasing thing, for anybody. However, I think that this is something that needs to be talked about more and needs more light shed on it, because this woman, she had reached the top of her A game, the pinnacle of success, 30 years old, top lawyer, and USA model. That's no easy feat for anybody. But at the end of that trail, you have death, And I think that a lot of these women don't realize until life catches up to them, until they're looking around to their left and looking around to their right and realizing that they still got to look over their shoulders and watch their back. Because at the end of the day, this is a man's world. And we can all negate that fact, but it takes a man to manipulate the earth, to manipulate the natural forces. Sure, a woman can do what a man can do. Yeah, of course. But there's different stresses and strains on the body and the mind that we're simply not created to handle. A man trying to give birth, his insides can't handle that. Taking pills and estrogen makes his bone marrow weak, brings his testosterone levels dangerously low. And, he's not moving mountains there, but he is moving mountains, trying to move mountains that women are created to move without taking anything. This is a natural currency. And these are the roles that we were given. A lot of women will act like they, a superwoman. Sure, you are. But superwoman has a role too. This was a young woman. She died single. All of her wealth, all of her experiences, all of her relationships. Her father, from my understanding, is still alive. Her mother's still alive. Had a brother. Still alive. Many of us have lost our family members, but we're still here pushing on in honor, right? But she couldn't handle that pressure. And and the news reporter here says that this was one person who never had a bad day. How you live a life like that and then rescind like that? I mean, I think that a lot of our poor decisions are going to catch up to us. You know, in this life, I believe that we get what we deserve. I know that sounds very harsh, but I do believe that. I'm not saying that this woman, she deserved that. No. But what I am saying is we do deserve the choices that we make in this life for the responsibilities we neglect. They will catch up to us. I mean, what would keep a honest man honest? Or what would make you be able to tell the difference between an honest man and a liar, a thief or a murderer? You know? And dare I say, judgment. For we will all be judged. I think that more women need to take a look at themselves, because this just happened this year. You know, how high are you really trying to climb? Because the higher you climb, the greater the fall. And I don't think women in general are ready for that fall. You know, the fall is worse than the climb. You know, I think that if she could go back and change her life, if she can change and swap some decisions around, I think that this woman would have prioritized a whole different type of lifestyle. And she'd probably still be alive with us today, right? Bringing those precious people to her joy, laughter. Well, that's not there anymore. Even her money, even all her wealth, was going to go to her children? She doesn't have children. She just died alone. I think that people really need to take consideration after this one and pay attention to what's going on. Even in the clip there with Pearl and Pearly Things, you know, that young lady there, she's just so stubborn, so hardened in her ways. You know, certain people, it takes certain experiences for them to repent, dare I say, and turn to the right way. But a lot of us won't do that. And I'm not even talking about repenting. A lot of us won't go back. We won't change. We won't acknowledge where we're incorrect, where we're wrong. Because a lot of us won't even acknowledge that we need to look within. Everybody's too busy pointing the finger. No one wants to forgive. Well, when you can't forgive others, guess what? You can't forgive yourself. Now, who does that hurt the most when you really think about it? It's like if eating was a skill and you never practiced the skill of eating, who is that going to truly hurt? It's going to hurt you, because you also need to eat. Anyway, that's just my take. Let me know what you guys think about this one. I find it really sad. But please drop me a like, push the algorithm, get this message out there, and let me know down in the comments how you feel. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Share your thoughts with me, man. And if you took anything away, a subscription would be appreciated. Thank you. Until next time.